Hello and welcome to the WOW, connecting and empowering women through sports, brought to you by Fresh Shine Wines, our wonderful partner. I'm Jade Kenny, and joining me, as always, are my lovely co-hosts, Stephanie Jokian and GeNienne Samuels. Hello, ladies.
Hey girl.
We have a truly inspiring show today. Coming up in segment 2, we chat with Donna Hopkins, who is the author of Getting to the Other Side of Victory, a true WOW warrior. She's a 2-time cancer survivor and amputee. Through her book, she shows the importance of not giving up and speaks to the fighter that can be found in all of us. And she recently was featured on Good Morning America, and we are lucky to have her here in the WOW. That's coming up. But before we get to that, we don't want to spend too much time on rehashing the game Sunday. We lost to Los Angeles Rams. No, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty on either side of the ball. It wasn't pretty outside. The weather really imitated exactly how we all felt. But some things are much bigger than football. Some things are much bigger than a win or a loss than a final score. I think we should focus on, I think we can all agree, the wow of the game, probably the wow of the entire season. Let's talk about how incredible it was to see Alex Smith, number 11, out there on the field, taking snaps. It was incredible.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I agree. And I don't think anyone could have predicted that we would see him this early in the season, but we were all glad to see him out there. 693 days since he first last threw a ball. And he did a great job, right? Considering the weather was horrible, but his very first throw was a completion. And I think everyone was just really excited to see him out there and see him kind of survive all of the hits and all of the sacks, unfortunately. So, obviously he needed a little help from the offensive line, but overall just a warm, fuzzy feeling to see him out there.
It was watching his family, watching him. I mean,
Yes.
I was nervous for his wife. I know she couldn't keep her hands from her face. She showed her emotion, but I'm sure she was so proud of him. His kids were proud of him. I mean, our former president, Barack Obama, is proud of him. I mean, how much cooler can you be with getting a shout out on social media from him? So it's just very memorable. And I'm excited for Washington football to have somebody as amazing as him on our team.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing too, like, I don't know about you all, but every time they came to rush at him, I was worried. But after the very first kind of on the ground, I'm like, okay, he's got this. He just got hit. He got back up. He's back in the game.
He stood back up.
Yeah, he stood back up every single time. But I mean, my heart was literally racing the entire game just because we all know his story. We all know what he went through. We all know, how he overcame, an injury that many people thought he wouldn't be back in the game. And he got back in the game. And so it was amazing to see, not just for the Washington football community, but for everyone. Like you said, like the former president.
Right. I wonder though, if he was like, in the back of his mind, is like, was it really supposed to be like this though, with the weather and all the sacks? Like, thanks guys.
Yeah. But I will say, how amazing is the timing that this is when Washington football was allowing close friends and family, obviously, to start coming back to the games. And that his family would have not have been there. Like, what an amazing example to show his kids. They were all there. And I just can imagine, how good it was to see them in person. I can imagine how worse it would be for his wife, Elizabeth, to be at home watching that on TV, because I know I was cringing. But yeah, incredible story. As you said, not much good other than that to talk about, but that is something that we can talk about for the rest of our lives, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Let's skip ahead. Let's look at our next game. We take on the New York Giants. What do we need to do to get this victory?
Oh gosh. I mean, for me, like I say, for us, I mean, the Giants it's going to be competitive. They are favored to win by 3.5 points, but then again, the home team gets 3 points for being home, but with no crowd, does that even matter? I'm not sure, but I think that we just need to have some decent quarterback play. We can't give up big plays on the defense and create turnovers. So run the ball more, which will allow our quarterback to make some longer passes and just give us more options to confuse the other team.
Yeah, I agree. And our O-line has to just step up. I mean, we gave away 8 sacks, I think it was. So our O-line just has to step up and really protect the quarterback. Kendall Fuller did a good job. He had an interception first half, so we want to see that again.
He just knows where to be.
Yes, he always knows where to be. Same thing with Montez Sweat. So obviously want to see him continuing. He got a sack as well. So our defense needs to come back. Like at the beginning of the season, I felt like they were really strong. So I think it's, offense, let's get to it, and defense, let's welcome you back.
Yeah, and I will say I'm excited maybe to see Kyle Allen start again if he's healthy. I think he looked pretty decent. You know, he had pressure in the pocket and he was doing what I think is important is he was making good decisions. And that's really what you need in a quarterback. If you read that there's man-to-man coverage, he protected the ball, saw the defender's back return and ran it for a touchdown. He has the legs.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I think it's a fair game on both sides of the ball. So it'll be an exciting one to watch. So let's keep moving. As we mentioned here on the WOW, we'd like to give you access to the Washington football team. If you have a question for a Washington football player, make sure you follow @WOW Washington on all social to find out how you can ask a player a question. This week we had member Sharice ask a question for linebacker John Bostic. Check it out.
Hello, this is Sharice from DC. Hi, John. My question for you is, what is your favorite memory or lesson that you've learned from Coach Urban Myers?
I think, what a lot of people don't understand, kind of what he, was kind of teaching us in college. A lot of people, they don't really understand until they graduate. But just the mental aspect, he talks a lot about, mental toughness and, he tries to put you in situations, whether it's in practice, whether, off the field, just, in the weight room, mentally trying to take you to a place that, you've never been before and to get you comfortable in those situations. And when he's able to, do that, I guess a lot of people don't really understand what he's trying to teach you in college, because think about it, guys I know when I got there, I was 17 years old, so at first, you're kind of thinking like, oh man, like, this is crazy. Like he's crazy, but, I think the more when guys walk away, from college football, from, his coaching experience and get into the real world, they're able to take so many things with them that they probably don't even, look back and think like, man, that's crazy. Like, I've been through way worse than this and, I'm ready, to attack whatever it is, or, I'm comfortable in this situation. So I'd say that's probably, one of the things I kind of took from him the most. And I know, two of my teammates, Josh and Jelani, we talk about that stuff all the time as of, it's crazy, what he was truly trying to teach us at that age. And we had no idea, what exactly that was.
Has your business been affected by COVID-19? Have you considered reducing or moving your office space? Then it's time to call Victory Van. We provide the best service and price with flexible options for your company's moving and storage needs. Visit victoryvan.com to get your free moving and storage quote today. For corporate storage and moving, it's always the right move to choose Victory Van. That's victoryvan.com, Victory Van Corporation, delivering excellence for 75 years and proud partner of the Washington football team.
Finch Services Incorporated, recognized in its industry as a world-class organization, is the exclusive supplier of John Deere golf and sports turf maintenance equipment for the Mid-Atlantic region. In business since 1945, Finch helps golf course and sports turf managers maintain some of the most exclusive playing surfaces in the region. Experience the Finch advantage for yourself. Contact one of our golf and sports turf sales specialists to see how we can help you maintain your field of dreams. Go to finchturf.com for more information.
At RTS, game day strategy doesn't stop when the whistle blows. RTS delivers smarter, more responsible waste and recycling services. As an official partner of the Washington football team, RTS is connecting the team and FedEx Field with sustainable solutions to care for the community and the environment. RTS, a better waste company. Find out more at rts.com.
Welcome to the WOW Spotlight. It is an honor to introduce our guest today, a true WOW warrior. She's a two-time cancer survivor and amputee. Through her book, she shows the importance of not giving up and speaks to the fighter that can be found in all of us. She's also a sports reporter right here in the DMV. Donna Hopkins, welcome to the WOW.
Thank you all. I'm happy to be here as we celebrate Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes.
I wear my pink in honor of you and of all of our survivors. But Donna, let's start at the top. Can you share with us your story and your story of being a survivor?
Yeah, in 1997, that's when everything started at the age of 36. I was at work one day and I felt a lump that I just kind of like touched the top of my chest and felt a lump. And I'm so glad that I was educated and the information was out there pertaining to breast cancer. So I knew immediately, I said to myself, please don't let it be the big C, cancer. And, I was nervous, and I think I was holding my breath, and I went home that day and didn't talk to anybody about it, because, I was still kind of like taking it all in myself. So I called my doctor immediately. And that's the thing about when I see women going through breast cancer, is that we wait a long time before we go to the doctor and get checked. But I was glad that immediately I went to the doctor, my primary doctor, to find out, if it was cancer or what was going on. And they did the x-rays, but they said that let me wait about a month to see if it was related to your cycle. So I went back to the doctor, and she said, you have to go see a breast surgeon to get an ultrasound and, to get better checked where the experts. So I ended up going, and like I said, the great thing about this is that I acted quickly, because chances of this spreading is greater if you don't immediately do something about, what you felt, and those examinations, breast checks every month is so key. And so many times we don't do it. So I went to the doctor and went through the process, and it ended up being cancer. But the first time around, I didn't discuss it with most of my family, because at that time, my mom was going through a tough time herself. She was fighting just to live herself. And I just figured that I could handle it myself more so. And I told a couple of my siblings, coming from a family of 10, because some of them can't hold water. So I was like, that's not to tell too many people. So I just told some close friends and a few of my siblings about what happened. And then we went through the process. And the second time, it came back in 1999, 2 years later, but it was almost like dormant. And that's the reason why it's important to go get your checkups, because during that year process after the first diagnosis, I had all these little twinges and things going on. And they said that maybe it was just because the radiation, because the first time around I had a lumpectomy, and I call it a papa doctor. He had been in business for 30 years. And it's good to have a great relationship with your doctors. And so he just thought that, and I didn't hear the first time that it was aggressive cancer, and maybe that was just God not letting me hear all the things. And so we just had to get the radiation because it was caught early the first time. And all of those twinges, they just said again that it was probably the radiation. But I just think that I was getting my mammograms and it was dormant. It was almost like it wasn't showing itself during that year, although it probably was manifested itself. And I tell people that it's amazing that lump the first time came up just at the age of 36, not even, being at the age to get mammograms and everything. I just said that God allowed that to happen because that saved my life, because I wouldn't have even been going to get checks, because my mom comes from a family of 18. And it was only one aunt on my mom's side that had breast cancer. And it's so important to know your family history, because well, do you have a family history? And I was like, no, just one aunt. But the second time in 1999, when the cancer came back, I found out that it was my dad, a lot of cousins on his side had breast cancer. And everybody thinks that it's always on the mother's side that you can have breast cancer, but it's really just family history, whether it's your dad's side or your mom's side. So the second time around, because I was going to get my mammograms regularly, if I hadn't been, then the cancer wouldn't have been detected. If I had just waited 1 year, it probably would have spread it, and I may not be talking to you all today. But because those yearly checks are so key and important to saving lives, because it saved my life the second time around. And the lump was in the same breast in the lower quadrants. The first time it was the upper quadrant, and it was close to my chest wall. So it was so close to breaking out, but they caught it early again. But I had to have, to have the breast removed. But I tell people that, everybody thinks about, oh gosh, being a woman and having the breast removed, and that's emotional in itself. But I said, breast removed versus life, that's not a tough decision.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, what's so interesting for me personally, first of all, like your website, I think I watched like every single video, just read up on it, and you always have a smile. You hit, wall after wall, but you are still positive and you're still encouraging and you're still telling your story and sharing. How are you able to kind of get through everything that you've been through?
I tell people that it's two things. My mom, them, had us in church at an early age. So my relationship spiritually with God is so key, the foundation that I constantly pull on, going through everything. And it's the athlete in me too. I've been playing sports all of my life. And now I understand why I'm so competitive, and the sports was a part of my life, because it enabled me to get through a lot of things. Everything that I went through in life, those challenges, those adversities, it's sports that has pulled me through all of those. I think about being an athlete growing up in the backyard, playing with my brothers, them basketball, and with the neighborhood kids, and I would be fighting to get on the court with them. You think about what it takes to be a winner on any sports team, and you tell me, nobody wants to be on a team that doesn't want to be a winner. And the things that go into being a winner on a court or on a football field or any sport. And I played, like I said, sports all my life, and I am the most competitive. I always tell people that. Of anybody, nobody has that on me. I mean, I beat little kids. That's how competitive I am.
Like, we got that back.
Anybody
Well,
doesn't have
you beat cancer. You beat cancer, and you're constantly overcoming. So yes,
Right, of course.
Yeah, and you think about it. So just everything that goes into the practices, the everyday tools that go into being that great athlete, to being a winner on the court. I tell people I don't like losing at anything, and I am a winner in general. It's almost like I got this happy-go-lucky spirit that it propels me through a lot of things. And sports, has just been that thing. Every time I went through something, I end up going into sports or competing at something. So sports has been that medicine that I've used to get me through some of the difficult times, and just what it takes to be a winner on the court and a winner in life. And that's how I look at it. And I tell people that I don't want to have anything be the thing that keeps me from coming up from what I went through. That's the key. We nobody likes to go through anything, trust me. And I said, but in life, we're going to have to go through things. How we come through them is the thing that we have to work on. And I tell people how I got to the other side of what I went through may not be how you get there, but I just believe that there is a winner, that we all are overcomers. We just have to learn what it is that helps us to get through the curves and the things that we went through.
You talk about relying on sports, right? Is it having a goal that sports afforded you to get to the other side? I would love to know, if you're comfortable, your thoughts on Alex Smith and that goal that he set for himself. And I know you're an amputee and he is not, but I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah. You know what? Alex Smith came so close. And when it happened to him, I cringed because, and when he went through it, the hospital stays and being, and just coming back from that, wondering how life is going to be after what you went through. I understood fully. I wanted to reach out to him to say, look, Alex, I really understand what you're going through, because in 2010, what I call an unforeseeable medical disaster, already having gone through cancer twice, I went into the hospital for uterus fibroid tumors to be removed. Supposed to have been 5 days in and out. Simple surgery, so they say, but no surgery is simple that I see. But I ended up in there 2.5 months, 6 surgeries later, almost dying a number of times. It's amazing that I'm even here talking to you today, because it was so close. I can remember one time I stopped breathing, and I had a hit from heparin that caused the foot to turn purple, and had a blood clot, and the heparin was supposed to prevent the blood clots. It created the blood clots, and I ended up those 6 surgery later having to have my leg amputated. and being an athlete at heart and just a person that's really active, that could be devastating. So I understand from Alex, perspective of being a professional athlete and being on the field and what that meant, with the injury that he had, and wondering if he was going to get back up on his feet and moving. But your attitude is so key in getting through those difficult days. And I told someone that I had a fight in me that was greater than what I went through. It's called a fight to get moving again, to get up again. And I never saw myself not getting there. The hard work that went into it was tremendous. And I think that sometimes we go through things, not so much for ourselves, but for those people that are looking on. When my family was in the hospital and watching all that was happening, and my mom was again sick during that time, and she had to make the decision about the amputation because I couldn't make it, because I was like, in the hospital, not knowing what was going on most of the time. But they were watching how I handled the situation. And like you said, that it's almost like, how in the world can she smile with what she's going through, knowing that her leg, but I never saw myself dying from what I was going through. And it was so close. I never saw myself moving past that. And I really didn't even see myself losing the foot. But even though that I have lost part of my leg, it has not stopped me. And I tell people that I think that I'm a better person now because of all that I went through. I just think that I look at life totally different, and I don't waste time. and you can't be in my circle if you don't like to have a good time.
Well, that's our circle too, so we're good.
Yeah, welcome to the WOW. We're in the same group. I want to quickly chat about, you were on Good Morning America recently, and you were surprised with $10,000 donation from the John Wall Foundation. How did that feel? How did it feel to be recognized by, especially like a local star as John Wall is?
You know what? That was pretty amazing, because when they talked to me about doing the GMA, they were just saying that they were going to get together some breast cancer survivors and just ask a couple of questions. It changed, not knowing that they were working on behind the scene and surprising me. Everybody likes, to get the recognition for the things that they're doing, but it's not about that for me. It's about what we're doing in the cancer community and bringing some relief to breast cancer survivors here in the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan area. To me, that's what it meant more. When John Wall gave us that check for, and I say us, foundation, it's not about me, it's not about Donna, it's about the people that we're helping in the cancer community. When he gave us that check, that $10,000 check, that was so huge, because with the pandemic right now, as I stated, a lot of activities that we would do, fundraisers, we can't have it now because of that. So we're going to be able to help so many more people because of that $10,000 check. That is probably what made me more happier than all the other things. It was great seeing my families, because it flooded back all the things that I went through and that they had been there with me. The friends and family have worked on the foundation. So I was kind of like filled with a lot of emotions that day, thinking about just how I got to the other side of what I went through, and all of those faces that was there to support me. And it takes support from everybody to get through everything. Don't think that I'm so strong that I don't need that support. That is so key in anybody getting through. I mean, Alex Smith had great support from the doctors, like my doctors, and from the family support and the friend support, which is so key in just getting to the other side. But John Wall, my hat's off, and I'm a big Lakers fan. I mean, they won. But guess what? When they're not playing the Lakers, I am a Wizard fan, and I am a community fan here in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. So I am so happy about the lives that we are impacting right now, to just bring some relief, because people just need help. I say that the resources are so few, but the need is so great out in the cancer community.
Yeah, most definitely. And obviously, while we are a family, we obviously welcome you into our family every day, all day, with your positive attitude. And I know that our listeners likely want to volunteer, want to just get more information about your nonprofit and how they can help. Where can people go to just find out more information?
Well, the great thing is that we're getting ready to have a 5K walk run for breast cancer on October the 24th. We're working out all those details, and we're going to make it really fun. It's not just going to be a regular 5K walk run, but it's going to be one where we embrace the whole family to get them involved. So my website that you can go to, the foundation website, is www.hopkinsbcinc.org. And the information is on there if you want to volunteer. The emails are there that you can just send if you want to volunteer, because we're always looking for people that can help us with our initiatives in moving forward. So we turn no one down. But, you know, I just want to throw this out. The great thing about the foundation that I'm most proud about is 99% of the people who come to the foundation, we approve their application for assistance. And so that is what makes me happy too. And we just don't, you know, forget the people that we've helped over the years, but we reach back out in the community to make sure that they're okay. And it's not just about with the foundation. I say that we're the helping hand in the cancer community, and we meet the immediate need. And that immediate need is just not the financial part. But just recently, I went with a friend's wife that had breast cancer to her doctor's appointments, because I want to help them make the best decision in moving forward with knowing all the information. And that is so key when you're going through breast cancer, is having all the information so that you can make the best decision for you moving forward. And that is, you know, having someone that has gone through it. And I always call it my doctor, kind of like, hey, could you talk to this person? Can you give me information about this? So we're just much more than just the financial part, but we're the mental part, the emotional part. That is what makes me the most happy about what we're doing.
Yep. Having the
Fantastic.
information, but then having someone there to know the right questions to ask, because that's another huge thing. You don't know what you don't know. So it's absolutely wonderful what you are doing, what you're doing for, you know, everyone fighting breast cancer and beating it like you. So
Yeah, you know what?
so
I have
much.
some boxing gloves over there, and I just want to pick them up and beat cancer out for everybody. So the knockout punch.
Knock it out.
Yeah, don't call it a comeback. Donna. Donna, thank you so much. You are a true role model and inspiration. It has been an honor having you on the Wow.
And
Yes.
you know what? Thank you all for making me a part of your family. And thank you all for what you all are doing in the cancer community, because as I said, it takes all of us to make a difference here in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area and in the world today. So thank you all, because guess what? You hold the gold medal of life also.
Oh, thank
Well
you.
done. Champion.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you, Donna. We're going to head into overtime next.
A new decade demands a new kind of wine as consumers continue to embrace healthier lifestyles with beverages that taste great and keep in line with their dietary preferences, and wine is no exception. Fresh Vine Wine thoughtfully crafts great tasting premium wines that are low calorie, low carb, low sugar, keto, vegan friendly, and gluten free. Fresh Vine Wines pairs perfectly with your active lifestyle without sacrificing on taste. Available in select stores in DC and Maryland.
Stay connected with the Washington football team. Follow at Washington NFL on Instagram and Twitter for team news, updates, and exclusive Washington football team content.
Couchgating is the new tailgating presented by DC Lottery. Enter to win a chance at a Washington football team DC Lottery fan pack. Celebrate your couchgating by sharing a photo using the hashtag CouchgatingDCL. To have your couchgating photo featured on the Couchgating Wall of Fame, please post your photos on social media using the tags Washington NFL, DC Lottery, and the hashtag CouchgatingDCL for consideration. Please note that not all photos will be accommodated on the Couchgating Wall of Fame, and all Couchgating photos are posted at the sole discretion of the Washington football team.
We are heading into Wow Overtime, brought to you by Fresh Fine Wine. I think it is very important that we follow up on some key points that Donna Hopkins just made in our previous segment. She is an inspiration, a role model, a hero by all accounts. I think it's, yeah, she's a hero. I mean all of her. But what a couple things that I really liked. I loved how she said she has a winner's mentality, and that no matter what was happening to her, she didn't let it put her in a dark place. She just knew that her mindset is I'm a winner. I will get through this. I will overcome anything. And she also touched about how important it is to have a tribe and the people around you. We say this all the time. That's why we love our Wow Women tribe. It is so important to have your circle that will build you up and that will be there for you through the darkest time, that are like-minded and have your best interests in mind. And I think it's really important, and we talk about it all the time. And I just want to get you guys' thoughts on that interview.
Yeah, ditto, 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 right? I mean, we, like you said, we talk about it with the Washington football team family. We talk about it with the WOW family, and then with our own families, and how important that support system is, not just to kind of help you and pick you up when you need it, but she mentioned that they're watching you as well. They're watching to see how you handle certain things. And so a lot of times when you don't have it in yourself to move forward, you have to move forward for other people. And I know a lot of our moms out there listening, Stephanie, you definitely can relate to this, because she said, everyone's going to go through something. It's how you come through it that matters. And that is, like, to me, like, I literally was like, oh my gosh, I love that. I want to write that up somewhere.
I mean, I took notes the entire time. I was just like, in awe.
So funny.
She's right. Like, light, that is life. We're always going to go through it. We just have to figure out, how do we want to come through it, because people are watching and we are an inspiration. Her story is such an inspiration.
Yeah, she is an inspiration. And actually, I used to get so mad at my dad when I would just want to be in my feelings about something and just act out. And he'd be like, people are watching you, and how you handle this is how they form their own opinions on how they should handle something else. You have to give other people strength. And so he ingrained that in me. And now I'm trying to do that with my sons, show them, when things go bad, this is how you can handle it. And, because I think it's an important message. And when she was talking afterwards about just how she had sports, she gave herself a goal as an athlete. So something that helped her get through it. I think that's so important. So whether you have like a hobby or just anything that helps you get to the other side, if it's your work that you're passionate about, we talked about Ron Rivera still doing his job while he's going through cancer. This is his passion. This is what he loves. So although he's getting a lot of skepticism about pushing himself too hard, this may be what he needs. And I think his wife knows that. And that's why she's supporting him through it all. So, yeah.
And what I also loved is how she said that she would not be the woman she is today if she had not gone through. I mean, she's been through more than anyone's just seen in their lifetime, 3 times through. But and I truly believe in that. The things that I've been through, where you think it's your darkest moments, I would not be as strong, as courageous, as brave as a woman that I am if I hadn't gone through that. And I think it's a really valuable thing when you're in those dark places, just to know. And they always say, like, you're growing. Like, you only get what you can handle. And I really believe in that. And she was unbelievable. And I really look forward to partaking in more events that her foundation is doing. And speaking of events, I'm going to segue into any WOW events, Stephanie, that we have going on.
Well, we have one more week of WOW Warrior stories. So stories like Donna, or a friend of yours, a sister of yours that went through this same battle. Maybe they didn't come out on the other side of victory, but you still want to share their story because they were an amazing person. We have a sweepstakes that's going on. We're celebrating 22 years with Mrs. Snyder starting our Think Pink initiative here at the Washington football team. And so 22 winners that share, 22 people that share their story will get a prize pack, a WOW Watch from Home game kit, which is amazing. We also have a family workout. So again, a testament to what we're talking about. The people you surround yourself with, the bonds that you have, your community, get out, get active, work out together, stay positive. That's on October 24th from 10 a.m. to noon. I know she has an event too, so I'm not mad, whichever one you want to go to, as long as you're there with your people and you're active.
Do them both.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly. I just want to remind, like, everyone that's listening, obviously come out to the events. We want to see you, like let's do this, whether it's virtual or, whatever it is. But what I want everyone to remember is, take something or think back on something that maybe you felt was a negative experience in your life, right? Or maybe you're going through something right now and you're having trouble getting through it. really think about what is the positive that I can come from, what positive can come from this, instead of always concentrating so much on the negative. I know when I found out that my mother was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, it was like the worst part of my life. But then also, like she said, I now appreciate life so much more. I appreciate the time with my mother every single day so much more because of what she's going through right now. So just try to always turn a negative situation into something positive and find that light so that you can go through it and come through it on the other side. Just like a reminder for everyone.
Yeah, and you're growing. Like we're saying, it's a growth. Maybe the pieces that you don't need anymore are falling away, and you didn't need those. And now it's coming to the new you. That's a whole you, and it's better. So I know it's hard to see in the moment, but I appreciate what you said about your mom, because I think that's the positive way for that outcome, and it's gonna be okay. Love you.
I loving all of this. Yes, find your light, and the new you is a whole you. So that's gonna do it for us here on the WOW. Make sure you're following us on social media so you can stay up to date with everything that the WOW has going on. Thank you to our partners, Fresh Fine Wine. Until next time, see ya.
Bye.
COVID changed everything. More demands on students, parents, educators. But there was a $4 billion education shortfall in Maryland even before COVID. We have a lot to do for our kids. Close the digital divide, provide opportunities to pursue vocational and technical education, and hire more qualified teachers. Question 2 will put millions into Maryland schools using revenue from sports betting. I know it won't solve every problem, but a yes vote will help our Maryland schools.
For more than 100 years, Chesapeake Employers Insurance has been helping Maryland businesses keep their workers safe. With competitive pricing and an AM Best A- financial strength rating, it's no surprise that Chesapeake Employers is Maryland's largest writer of workers' comp insurance.
At the end of every workday, someone's waiting for your safe return.
Connect with your agent or visit CEIWC.com.
Locally owned Novak is energizing the community in powerful ways. From sponsoring meals for first responders and medical professionals to donating generously to area food banks, Novak knows we're in this together. Novak and customers are funding crisis energy assistance by having their bills rounded up each month. Novak and employees are supporting local charities through Novak Helps. That's the power of working together. That's Novak.
And now, time for another Honda highlight. Jed was in mid-season form when his car went into an early retirement. Looking to upgrade his roster to all-wheel drive, Jed went down to his local Honda dealer. Jed scouted the CR-V, Pilot, Passport, and more. In the end, Jed saved his season by picking up a new versatile HR-V with collapsible magic seats. Savvy stuff, Jed. Very savvy stuff.
Save your season with a great deal on an all-wheel drive Honda. See your local Honda dealer today.
Join in supporting the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration's Red Ribbon Week and National Prescription Take-Back Day. Talk to your loved ones about drug misuse, participate in drug prevention and education activities, and take the pledge to be drug-free. Then, on Saturday, October 24th, clean out your medicine cabinet of unused, unwanted, expired prescription drugs to take part in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. Visit DEATakeback.com to find a collection site near you.
COVID changed everything. More demands on students, parents, educators. But there was a $4 billion education shortfall in Maryland even before COVID. We have a lot to do for our kids. Close the digital divide, provide opportunities to pursue vocational and technical education, and hire more qualified teachers. Question 2 will put millions into Maryland schools using revenue from sports betting. I know it won't solve every problem, but a yes vote will help our Maryland schools.